Hello everyone, welcome again to our science class. We are now in module 2 for the second quarter, week 2. Good morning everyone. Just a couple of reminders for everyone. Have you sent your output for module 1 already? Do you still remember the things we discussed in module 1? You can watch the video several times to understand the lesson. Do not rush and always answer the assessment if you are done watching and if you understand the lesson. Again, answer only the assessment only if you are done watching the video and you have understand the lesson to get a higher grade. For this lesson, for this module, you must be able to differentiate the epicenter of an earthquake from its focus. And you also have to differentiate intensity of an earthquake from its magnitude. As you can see, the man lying on the bed experienced an earthquake. He is not drunk. It's an earthquake. You judge it. For this lesson or after watching this video, you are expected to differentiate epicenter from the focus, describe the strength of an earthquake in two ways, intensity and magnitude, draw or print or cut out pictures showing destructive effects of earthquakes. So those are the three things you need to do after this video, or you are expected to after this video. Let's have a couple of review questions from our past lessons. What is a fault? Correct! Fault is a break or a fracture or a crack on the surface of the ground. Very good! Next, let's see who among you can identify the parts of the fault. What do you think is the name of the number one there? Very good. It's a fault plane. How about number 2? What do you call that one? Good job. It's a hanging wall. How about number 3? Very good. It's a footwall. How about number 4? Very good. It's a fault line. How about number 5? It's a fault scarp. Okay. You indeed have learned something from our lessons last time. Very good job. Well done, everyone. Here's the next one. Let's identify the types of faults. Look at number 1. What type of fault is that? Very good. It's a normal fault. How about number 2? What do you think is that? Good job. It's a reverse fault. How about the last one? Number 3. That is? Very good. It's a strike-slip fault. Fascinating. You still remember the things we discussed in the first lesson? Now this time, how do you think faults generate earthquakes? Let us see who among you remembers this one. Wow! Faults generate earthquakes when rocks give off from the stress inside their body and eventually releases tremendous amounts of energy in a form of waves that create vibrations on the ground. Very good. Now let's get ready for the next lesson. I want you to match column A with column B. I'll give you a minute to give your answer. Okay, time is up. Let's have seismology. Seismology, it is a branch in science that deals with earthquakes and seismic waves. Very good. How about seismologist? A seismologist is a human studying earthquakes and seismic waves. Very good. How about seismograph? Seismograph, it is a device used to determine the source of an earthquake and its magnitude. Intensity, intensity is a measure of how destructive the earthquake on the surface and how we humans felt it. And the last one, we have magnitude. It refers to the measure of energy released from the focus. Very good job. Well done, everybody. Now, let's go now to our main topic of this video. Let's talk about, or let's differentiate focus with epicenter. I want you to look at the picture. Concentrate on the two terms, epicenter and focus. How do the two differ from each other? When you say focus, it is the exact point within the crust where the tremendous amount of energy originated, or the earthquake originates. And on the other hand, when you say epicenter, it is the point on the surface of the earth which is directly above the focus. It's very easy to understand. Focus or hypocenter, it is within the crust. Epicenter, it is on the ground above the focus. Okay, everybody? Do you understand? Let's proceed. If ever I'm going to place another house between the epicenter and the yellow house, which do you think will receive more damage? The white house or the yellow house? Very good, the White House. Why do you think so? It is because it's near to the epicenter, or near from the epicenter. The nearer you are from the epicenter, the more vibrations you will feel and the more damage it can cause to your buildings, to your houses, or anything that is near from the epicenter. Are we clear, everybody? Let's now try to differentiate intensity versus magnitude. Try to study the picture below. When you say magnitude, it measures the energy released at the source of the earthquake, or what we call focus, or what we call the hypocenter. On the other hand, intensity measures the shaking on the ground. It measures the damage the earthquake causes. Magnitude will not change. Intensity will change depending on your location, near or far from the epicenter. The closer you are from the epicenter, the more intensity you can feel. But whether you are far or near from the focus, the magnitude will not change. Take note of that. Next, magnitude uses a seismograph, while intensity, what does intensity use? Intensity uses or refers to the damage that the earthquake has done, or refers to how strong is the vibrations on the ground. That's how we describe the intensity of an earthquake. Okay, let's proceed. Try to look at this table. The modified Mercalli scale is used to describe intensity. Sorry for that. The Richter magnitude scale is used to measure or describe the magnitude of an earthquake. So the left corner here tells us about the intensity. The right corner tells us about the magnitude. So if you try to look at intensity number 1, it is 0 to 1.6 magnitude scale. Intensity 2, that is 1.6 to 2.2. And intensity 3, you have 2.2 to 2.8. Intensity 4, you have 2.8 until 3.5 for the magnitude scale, and so on and so forth. That is why every time we hear something in the news, when they say magnitude 1 point something, they are actually correct. They are referring to magnitude 1 point something. But if they will say intensity, they will not use decimal points because they are using a Roman numeral numbers for intensity. While in the magnitude, they are using Arabic numbers with decimal points. So you try to notice the difference between intensity and magnitude. So let's proceed to the next slide. This time, class, I'll be showing to you the Fieldbook's earthquake intensity scale. Here in our country, we are using this intensity scale that is provided by our government. So if you try to look at, they are quite similar from from the one that I showed you a while ago, the Mercalli scale. Now this time, the government have provided us with a intensity scale that will describe how strong the earthquake will occur in our country. So if you try to look at their intensity number 1, some objects, hanging objects, are slightly disturbed. Your water on your glasses might move a little. Look at also intensity number 2, slightly felt. For intensity number 2, it is only felt by some of the few individuals who are at rest indoors. Hanging objects may swing slightly. And let's proceed to intensity number 3, a weak earthquake. A weak earthquake can be felt by many humans indoor, especially on the upper floors. And somehow you may feel that there is a truck passing by. And intensity number 4, moderately strong earthquake. You may feel that you may see hanging objects swing considerably. And then motor cars may rock slightly, and some liquid containers are slightly disturbed, and it feels like there's a heavy truck passing by. In intensity number 3, it's just a light truck. But intensity number 4, a heavy truck is passing by. Somewhat like it feels like a heavy truck passing by. Next, you have intensity number 5, that's already a strong earthquake. Okay? Hanging objects are already swinging violently, and leaves on the trees may shake. You can visibly see the leaves on the trees are shaking. Intensity number 6, that's a very strong earthquake. Furnitures and heavy objects might be displaced. Okay? Somewhat like from one place, it will be moved to the another place, but not so far. Just it might be just displaced. Okay? And then trees may shake. Okay, this time the whole body of the tree is shaking already. There is already a limited rock falls, and poorly built houses or man-made structures are slightly damaged at this intensity. Intensity 7 is already destructive. Intensity 7, you can see there that some structures can have a considerable damage, and then there might be cracks on the fish pans, on the dikes, on the concrete hollow block walls. That's intensity 7 already. And your heavy furnitures might be overturned or toppled down. Okay? Intensity 8, on the other hand, is very, very destructive earthquake. It's a very destructive earthquake. As you can see there in the list, people might even find it difficult to stand on outdoors. And then concrete dikes and foundations of the bridges are destroyed. And then water splashes over the banks of the rivers. That's intensity 8. The last two intensity level is intensity 9 and intensity 10. For intensity 9, it's a devastating earthquake. Hopefully, this will not happen to us here in our country, because in this intensity, people are forced on the ground. You will be having, or we will be having, hard time to stand on the ground, and bridges and concrete structures are destroyed. Rivers are somewhat like splashes violently. trees are shaking violently, landslides will occur. Okay, that is for intensity 9. For the most devastating earthquake is intensity 8. I mean 10. Completely devastating. Trees are uprooted. There is a massive landslides and changes in the river courses. Okay, it changes the direction of the flow of the river for intensity 10. So that is how our government describe the intensity level that may occur in our country. So let's proceed. Let's try to differentiate magnitude and intensity. When you say magnitude, it measures the energy released from the focus. When you say intensity, it measures the damage the earthquake done on the surface of the earth. Magnitude uses the seismograph, while intensity uses the human perception on how strong the vibration is on the ground, and uses also on the damage that it done on the buildings, houses, and infrastructures on the surface of the earth. Magnitude uses Arabic numbers with decimal. Intensity uses Roman numeral without decimals. Magnitude will not change no matter how far or near you are from the focus, while intensity changes. If you are near, you will get more damage from the epicenter. If you are far from the epicenter, you will likely get a lesser damage from the earthquake. Okay, that's how magnitude and intensity differ from each other. Now, I want you to have this exercise. I'm showing you a couple of pictures and I want you to identify what intensity level each picture is showing. Let's have the first picture. Excuse me. The first picture is showing very good intensity 7. Why? Because heavy objects are already falling down. And if ever I will be inside the house, I will likely to go out and find an open place so that I will not be injured or get hurt. The next picture, what intensity do you think is this? This is intensity level 8. Very good. Because bridges are broken already and sands and water are already flashing over the banks of the river. Very good. Two pictures. Look at the people. That is intensity number, very good, intensity number 9. Why? Because the people are forced to the ground because of the earthquake. How about the last picture there? Look at the buildings and the houses. It's intensity 8 because they are considerably damaged due to the earthquake. Very good job, well done. So that is how the government is trying to describe how strong the earthquake, depending on the damage it is doing on the infrastructure, building, houses, or how we feel the vibrations on the ground. And that is intensity. But then again, magnitude is measured using the seismograph. Very good. Proceed. Now, since you are done already watching the video and I'm done already giving you inputs, this time you are going to make an output. This is now your second output for the second quarter. Use a clean band paper or an intermediate pad. You can cut out cut out two pictures showing a devastating effects of earthquakes. You can print two pictures showing the effects of earthquake on the ground, on the buildings, or if you have an old newspaper, you can look at there some news clippings and try to cut out the pictures. Or if you have magazines there, use it, cut it, and then paste it in your band paper. After cutting out pictures or printing pictures, I want you to describe what intensity level is the earthquake that occurred on that picture and give a brief description of the said intensity level, just like what we did in the last activity. I mean, in the previous activity, the one that we did a while ago. And then, of course, you're going to submit this one to my messenger account. You can send it there. If you don't have any messenger account, you may send it during the scheduled date and then give it to our pass it there in our school. Okay, and then if you are done watching and if you have learned already, and then if you still have confusions, you may watch over again the video. After watching, you may now answer the assessment. Again, only answer the assessment if you are done watching the video. Thank you for watching and see you next time and have a nice day.